Hello everyone. We welcome you to Audit Bakery. Be ready because we might serve you the best cake you will ever test. But before that, let us learn on the current issues of auditing. Do you know that Current Issues in Auditing is devoted to advancing the dialogue between academics and practitioners on current issues facing the auditing practice community? In normal audit, audit is carried out to ensure assertions about economic actions and events comply with relevant standards. However, in Sharia audit, matters are audited to ensure compliance with Sharia rules and principles as decided by the Sharia regulatory councils. The Sharia audit function is defined in the framework as an independent assessment that is conducted on a periodical basis in order to improve the degree of compliance and to ensure a sound and effective internal control system for Sharia compliance in the institutions. Sharia audit has three levels of approach, which are a audit of international financial institutions, financial statement, compliance audit of organizational structure, people and process, and review of the adequacy of the Sharia governance process, providing recommendations to the audit committee and the Sharia committee. Sharia audit function is carried out by internal auditors who have sufficient Sharia-related knowledge, skills and training. The objective of the Sharia audit is to ensure a good and effective internal system for Sharia compliance. Sharia auditing is very important to report the findings of Sharia compliance and non-compliance, to assess the degree of non-compliance and its effect on the IFI as a whole, and to recommend corrective actions, improvement and rectifications necessary by the identified persons in charge with such corrective actions, improvement and rectifications. Critical comments on auditing and demands for wider responsibility, visibility and accountability of companies have held many to debate on what ought to be the ideal audit function. There are four main issues related to Sharia auditing practice in IFIs in Malaysia. First is the framework. The absence of recognized guidelines and Sharia auditing standards is a major problem facing the current Sharia auditing framework. Auditors are required, professionally, to follow standards, however, as at the moment Sharia auditing standards are still lacking. Second is the scope. With regards to the scope, there is evidence of public concern about what is being achieved in the audit of accounting and financial statements. Third is the qualification. There is a difference between the desired and the actual qualification of Sharia auditors. Sharia auditors are expected to reflect the responsibility and accountability not only to the management and stakeholders, but more important to the God. Fourth is the issue of independence. The integrity of the Sharia auditors are further enhanced by the expectations of those who have interest in the IFIs for the Sharia auditors to be independent enough to give opinions on the positions of the IFIs in terms of being Sharia compliant in all aspects. Based on the four issues, it shows an adverse effect which result in a gap because what is actually desired does not coincide with the actual practice. Malaysian Institute of Accountants, MIA, or the regulatory body in charge of IFIs, should be assigned to take the responsibility of identifying and implementing a comprehensive and integrated Sharia auditing framework in order to cater for the ever-increasing number of IFIs in Malaysia. Now, let's have a cup of coffee before moving on to the next delicacy. This coffee has a flavor of Audit Oversight Board. Before we start to discuss on the current issue in Audit Oversight Board, let's talk about the overview of Audit Oversight Board. Audit Oversight Board is in charge for the auditors of public interest entities, registration under Part IIIA of the Securities Commission Malaysia Act 1993, SCMA. It is established in 1993 and start their operation on the 1st of April 2010. The main objective is to promote and develop an effective audit oversight framework and to promote confidence in the quality and reliability of audited financial statements in Malaysia. Now, let's proceed with the current issue in Audit Oversight Board. AOB is concerned over weaknesses in the work of auditors on revenue recognition, inventory, group audits and related party transactions. In 2016 annual report, they advised audit firms to strengthen and improve the quality controls to demonstrate the importance of the value of audits and its relevance to ensuring good corporate governance of companies. AOB devoted a new and revised auditor reporting standards to initiative better transparency in auditors' reports as well as financial reporting. Therefore, through AOB's inspection program, They would closely monitor the auditor's compliance in implementing the new and revised auditor reporting standards to identify instances of non-compliance and trends. Hello. Now, let us have a taste of the all-time favorite donut, which is whistleblowing. Whistleblowing can be defined as calling attention to a wrongdoing that had occurred within an organization. It can also be defined as an act to promote disclosure of information about any corruption or other misconduct. However, the whistleblower is provided protection from his or her action of disclosing the wrongdoing. In Malaysia, Whistleblowers Protection Act 2010, Act 711, is provided to protect whistleblowers. The Whistleblowers Protection Act 2010, Act 711, laid out the terms protection, which is 1. The person who is the whistleblower is willing to be identified by the MAC. 2. He or she meets with MAC officers personally in the office, or any other place. 3. In the case that the disclosure of improper behavior made is through a medium, such as letters, emails, phone calls, SMSs, the whistleblower should reveal his identity together with his address, or in any way that he is able to be contacted. Next is the types of protection that is provided by the Act, which are 1. No disclosures are made on the identity of the informant and all information are kept confidential. 2. There will be no liability towards the informer for any civil action, criminal or disciplinary consequences for the disclosures made. 3. There are also protections provided to those who are associated or have connection, relationship with the disclosures made. Now, let's look into the current issue of whistleblowing. Even though there is an act to protect whistleblower in Malaysia, it seems that there is one current issue relating to whistleblowing in Malaysia. The issue is that in Malaysia, only 28 out of 8,953 complaints made to the MAC in 2012 were by whistleblowers. This is way low as compared to the statistics held by United States, which have approximately 46% of fraud cases were discovered by whistleblowers. Well, that's all the flavors of donuts, guys. Don't hesitate to eat more. Satisfy your sweet tooth with some money laundering macaroons. Money laundering. Process of converting cash or property derived from criminal activities to give it a legitimate appearance. Impact of money laundering is increase in the overall rate of crime, taint the integrity and reputation of the business and financial sector, increase cost of doing business and operations of various sectors of the economy, inhibit the growth of the economy. These are the three methods used by criminal in money laundering. Placement. Illicit funds are separated from their illegal source and are placed into the financial system. Layering. Involves the process of creating multiple layers of transactions. Integration. Laundered proceeds are successfully integrated into the economy as legitimate funds.